Welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO. We go to the phones right now, and there are just a few things happening in Washington, D.C. And joining us this morning, our good friend Blair Ellis, RNC National Press Secretary, joining us here on the program. Blair, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning to you, Chad, and thank you for letting me join you.
Absolutely. It's always good to visit with you, and it was nice to meet you last time I was in D.C.
I mean, it's always fun when you get to meet kind of the face behind the voice. So I'm so glad you got to swing by and got the chance to chat and catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's a lot to talk about today. There's a lot going on. What is when you're looking at the headline right now on Fox News, the battle lines harden. You've got the White House and Republicans shaping up this battle on an impeachment inquiry that is not yet an official impeachment inquiry. Mm-hmm. How do you think this is impacting the voters? How is this impacting the election? What are your thoughts on what the Democrats are doing right now?
I think this is just more games and gimmicks from Democrats because they've got nothing to run on and no record of results that they can tout. And you said it perfectly. They've not done anything to move this impeachment inquiry to the floor for a House vote. And this is not a valid impeachment inquiry. It violates basic due process rights. We've seen House Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, break with long-standing precedent as to how to constitutionally go about valid impeachment inquiries and how they should be conducted. And the way they're doing this right now behind closed doors where no counsel can be present, they're doing this in such a kind of a shady way that, number one, it's not legitimate, and number two, it certainly doesn't follow any kind of constitutional reasoning or authority. I mean, it's just more of the same from Democrats, and I know the American people are tired of this, and they're disheartened by it.
Well, what do you make of the polls that show, anywhere from 45 to 50% of Americans support an impeachment inquiry? Do you think those are accurate polls, or do you think that most Americans really aren't sure what even an impeachment inquiry means?
I think that the American people are smart, and they read through these games and gimmicks of these Democrats right now. And I think that the American people know that these Democrats have been seeking impeachment since day one. This president has done nothing wrong, and Democrats have made clear they're just trying to overturn the results of the 2016 election. It's dangerous what they're doing. This goes against the will of millions of voters, and they've shown they have no interest in a fair process for this president, his administration. They're not willing to kind of go about this in any kind of legitimate way, and the American people see through that. They see that this is just another stunt from Nancy Pelosi and her socialist squad within the caucus.
I mean, I think for most people, this is just ugly politics. There is nothing. Mm-hmm. There's no constitutional crisis. CNN earlier had a line on their screen that said the White House declares war on the Constitution. This has nothing to do, Blair. It seems like to me this has nothing to do with the Constitution. This is political games, and this is the Democrats realizing that their front runner, Joe Biden, is a weak front runner. Right. That Bernie Sanders, I mean, God bless him, but I mean, the guy seems like he's going to be done. His campaign is pretty much done, and they've got Elizabeth Warren, and I don't think the Democrat establishment really likes Elizabeth Warren.
I really do. I think it stems back to the fact that Democrats know they cannot beat this president at the ballot box because they do not, to your exact point, have any formidable challengers or contenders. They don't have anybody right now that can speak to all the different factions of their party. They don't have somebody that's universally well-liked. And so this is kind of their way that they're trying to go about taking this president down. But Pelosi and Democrats are rejecting basic due process protection, which this president is entitled to. That's exactly why we see the White House flexing its muscles right now, as they rightfully should. At a minimum, there is a right to see all the evidence that House Democrats claim they have. There's a right to watch them present the evidence. We should be able to watch witnesses be called forth. The Trump administration should be able to have counsel present at these hearings, cross-examine the witnesses, make objections, et cetera, et cetera. None of that is being allowed by Democrats to play out right now. And it's truly because they want to do all this behind closed doors. They know there's nothing worth, and they know there's no way they can justify this impeachment for this president right now. It's just more games and gimmicks. It's just so silly.
Visiting with Blair Ellis with the RNC. Blair, talk about the money that the RNC and the president, despite all the headlines that the media wants to make this president appear not very popular, the RNC and President Trump able to raise quite a bit of money.
That's right. And what we're noticing, too, is that the more Democrats talk impeachment, the more we see our volunteer numbers go up, our fundraising numbers go up, the number of new donors, brand new first ever donors jump up. We were able to raise $125 million, the RNC and the Trump campaign in the third quarter. And third quarter is just fancy talk for we raised it in 3 months, which is awesome. That's more than any other 2020 Democrat challenger, period. And this is way more than kind of where Barack Obama, the DNC, were at this point heading into their cycle. More than 70 million where Barack and the DNC were at combined heading into the third quarter as well. So we know this is a testament to the enthusiasm for this president. We know this is a testament to people saying and seeing what these Democrats are doing with these baseless impeachment inquiries and saying enough is enough. We're ready for people to get to work. We're ready to see this economy continue to flourish like it's been doing. And so anytime Democrats want to talk impeachment, we say keep on keeping on, because we're seeing it unfold for us tenfold in terms of volunteers and money that we're bringing in. Visiting
with Blair Ellis here on the Chad Hasty Show. Blair, as we talked about earlier, the 2020 Democrats, they're not very popular. The contenders are not very popular. Speaking of one that may not be very popular, but there's a lot of chatter about, is Hillary Clinton. President Trump just sent out a tweet about a minute ago, crooked Hillary should try it again. Is the RNC ready if Hillary decides to jump into this thing? And just you personally, do you think she's actually going to try to go? I mean, third time's a charm. Do you think she's going to try it again?
No, I don't. I mean, I could be wrong here, but I like to think that Clinton at this point has kind of learned her lesson. But look, if she does, the RNC has plenty of opposition research that we have acquired on her from the last, 2-3 decades she spent in public service. So if she wants to have at it for yet another go-around, we say have at it. Trump beat her in 2016. We know he would do it again. But I think this is more of Hillary Clinton just trying to kind of latch onto the opportunity for fame while she has it, kind of keep trying to build her brand. I just think she likes to try and take the bait the president tees up for her. So we'll see how it plays out. But I don't know. I'm glass half empty on this. I do not think she'll jump in.
Yeah, I kind of, to be honest with you, I kind of wish she would. I mean,
Me too.
I think just for the comic relief, I think would be great. And the current 2020 Democrats would probably also have a field day going after her as well. I don't think they would welcome her with open arms. Blair,
for sure.
Blair, tell folks how they can get more involved with everything going on with this, with the presidential campaign, and how they can help out the president and the RNC.
Well, we would love for folks to get involved. You can also look at GOP.com. There's a great opportunity to get involved as a volunteer. You can also go to DonaldJTrump.com. Plenty of opportunities to give, to contribute. The money that's given to the RNC helps the top of the ticket. It goes towards this president, but it goes also towards reelecting every candidate down the ballot with an R next to his name or her name. That's really what we prioritize. We want to make sure that we have as much resources in place, ground game in place, the best data in the business possible to support and encourage every Republican candidate on that ticket, including the president at the very top.
National Press Secretary for the RNC, Blair Ellis, it's always a pleasure to have you on. We'll visit with you later.
I would love that. Thanks so much, Chad.
Thank you. That's Blair Ellis with the RNC here on the Chad Hasty Show, News Talk, KFYO.